All right, guys, welcome to the video. So what you're going to see here is just a mashup of training footage that I've just taken over the last few weeks. A lot of this stuff you've probably seen on Instagram already, but I needed something to kind of put over this so it wasn't just like staring at my face talking about the subject matter. So I wanted to talk about bulking versus cutting. This is an interesting kind of subject in the space right now because a lot of people think that bulking is useless. They think it's overrated. They think it's dead. They think there's no place for it. You don't really need to bulk. You just need to, slowly gain. And I think it is so person dependent what you need to do. And I've outlined 3 different situations where you should be bulking and 3 different situations where you should be cutting. So for those that are, maybe new or just need some clarification, cutting is cutting body fat, losing body fat, getting leaner. Bulking is, trying to get bigger, build muscle, get jacked. So we're going to start with bulking first. This first individual, this was me. This is the person that is new to the gym. They're skinny. They just want to get big. They want to get strong. They want to build muscle. So that person that is in that situation, they should be bulking. They should be trying to get a lot of calories in. They should be training hard, progressing hard in the gym. And do you need to focus on every last macro and every perfect calorie? I really don't think so. I think the person that is new, the person that is, naturally on the skinnier side, I remember when I started training, I was 120 pounds and I just needed to eat. I didn't necessarily need to worry about counting every macro and worrying about everything being weighed and measured out. I just needed to get the food in. So that person, they should be bulking. Person number 2, the person that just wants to get big. Some people don't really care about losing their abs or getting a little bit of body fat or being on the fluffier side, right? Not fat and not obscenely high body fat percentage, but maybe 15 to 20% instead of 10 to 12%. That person, they should be bulking. Their goals are to get big, to build muscle, to get strong. Commit to the bulk, get some food in you. I think, contrary to the first person, I think this person could probably put a bit more effort into the quality of their food. Not that the person at the beginning should just be eating pizza and ice cream, but I think that person can get away with it a bit more and it be less of an issue. But the person that is, maybe a little bit more mature in their career, maybe they've been training a little bit longer, but they just want to keep getting bigger, not necessarily worried about having a six pack 24/7. I think that person should be committed to bulking, right? If that's your goal, then who cares if people think that it's overrated or if it's unnecessary? At the end of the day, your goals are your goals, and you need to do the things that are going to get you there. And I think the traditional bulking of eating in a surplus and remaining in a surplus for an extended period of time and a reasonable surplus. I think this person, again, in comparison to the first individual, I think the second person should probably be a bit more of a conservative calorie jump versus the first person is probably trying to get a good, 1,000, if not more, extra calories on top of their maintenance. The second individual maybe is 400 to 500 calories. So that person should also be bulking. And the third person is the person in the off season in the competitive space. That person is trying to build muscle, right? And they're trying to progress within their bodybuilding career. So being in an environment where you are conducive to doing that is, commonly referred to as a bulk, right? Now, this individual can probably err even a little bit lighter on the surplus side of things. Maybe they're a 300 to 400 calorie surplus. So it's even lesser than the second individual because, if you're a competitor, you probably want to keep body composition at a reasonable place, especially if you're natural and especially if you've progressed, like myself, 10 years into the game. I don't need to gain 50, 60 pounds on top of my contest weight anymore. I can probably float around 30, 35, maybe 40 and be in a good spot to build muscle and be at a reasonable body fat percentage and still, look fit and look healthy, not fat and sloppy. So, the person that's in the off season, they're trying to build muscle, then they are bulking. So there's your 3 bulking individuals. Now on the flip side, cutting, the person that is trying to get leaner, they're trying to lose body fat, they're trying to get shredded. So person number 1 is someone who's overweight, someone who has, body fat to lose. They need to commit to a cut. right? They need to get into a calorie deficit. They need to potentially incorporate cardio to fuel that fat loss, but they're cutting, right? So they're in a deficit. If their maintenance calories are here, they're down here. And that degree of down here may change over time, but starting with a couple hundred calorie deficit after a week of, or a couple weeks probably, of figuring out what your maintenance might be, then working from there. But the person that is overweight and has weight to lose, they don't need to necessarily focus on building and bulking right off the bat, because they're just going to start accumulating more body fat on top of what they already have to lose. If someone has to lose 20, 30, 40 pounds of fat to get to even a reasonable healthy body fat level, they should be not looking the direction of trying to bulk and get bigger. They should be looking at losing body fat and not only getting to a healthy body fat level, but just an improved health standpoint in general, right? Improving blood pressure, resting heart rate, that kind of stuff. That individual needs to be on a cut. Person number 2 is someone who's looking to potentially recomp a little bit. So, I think a lot of people, when they're getting into the fitness space, they kind of have two contrasting goals of, I want to build muscle, but I also want to lose weight. And that's kind of what we refer to as a recomp, right? So if their body composition is here, they kind of want to just take it all and mash it all together with losing body fat while also building muscle. That person, I think, is probably better off to do the fat loss first, to do the cut first, and then get to a point where you can build from there. If someone has to lose, 10 to 20 pounds of body fat and then wants to also build, let's say 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, it's a lot easier and it's a lot quicker to do the cut first and then build from there. Not only are you going to be building from a better position, but you're also going to be able to get that body fat off in a lot quicker time frame. If you're trying to lose 10, 20 pounds, you could probably, for a lot of people, rip that off in maybe a 6-month period. Let's be conservative and say 6 months. But if you're trying to build 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, especially naturally, that's going to take much, much, much longer, especially if you're not necessarily that newbie, that first time lifter that's getting those newbie gains in that first 6 months. That person can probably do both in a relatively quick period of time. But, if we're talking about the general individual who's looking to recomp things a little bit, it's probably a lot easier to say, okay, I'm going to commit to the cut first, get that fat loss phase done in 6 months, and then be in a position to then take a slow and gradual build from and kind of shift gears into that bulking environment. But you're bulking from a more healthy and productive body fat level than bulking from that higher body fat level. And the third person is the person on prep, person like me right now. We're cutting, right? We are trying to get shredded. We're trying to get lean for the stage. We are committed to the cut. We're in the calorie deficit. For a lot of competitors, they're implementing cardio to sometimes a very, very high degree. They're watching every single calorie that goes in and macro that's accounted for. Everything's weighed and measured and tracked and accounted for, because the goal at hand is to not only get lean, but you're trying to get past that, right? I tell people all the time, there's beach lean and then there's stage lean. And a lot of people are chasing down beach lean, which can be done in a, most of the time, relatively less invasive environment, right? You probably don't need to dig your calories really, really low or bump your cardio really, really high. But the competitor, they're trying to get past that beach lean, right? So maybe beach lean is 9, 10, 12% body fat. The competitor is trying to get 4, 5, 6, 7% body fat, right? So that individual, they're cutting, but they're cutting to an extreme measure, to an extreme degree, right? So that's 3 bulks and 3 cuts. The thing for you, if you're watching this, is determining where your goals lie and then picking the tool, whether it's bulking or cutting, that's going to get you there, right? So of those 6 individuals that I described, for the bulking, the new lifter, the skinny lifter, or the individual in the off season, or the individual trying to just get big, and then on the cutting side of things, the individual that's overweight, the individual that's trying to recomp, or the individual that's on prep. Whatever one of those 6 people you are, you have now some direction, hopefully, to guide you to the direction you need to go in to achieve your goal, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I know it's kind of different setup than what I've been doing for these prep videos, but I wanted to get something out there, and I've had this idea for a video for a couple weeks now and just haven't had a chance to sit down and record it. So if you guys obviously like the video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and you know, keep up to date with things. Quick update on myself, since I have about a minute left I see on the video. I woke up this morning 163.3 pounds, so that is a new low post second diet break. I did 2 diet breaks. So I had a diet break, week back into maintenance, or week back at deficit calories, back to a diet break because I dropped too quick again. And here we are again at 163.3 as of this morning, closing out my high day this week. So historically, after a high day, I see a new low tomorrow morning. So we'll see if I dip even below this morning's 163.3. And we are 14 and 20 weeks out. One mystery weeks out that I keep people guessing about. So I feel good. We're getting closer and closer and closer. So we got to head out, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.